I'm here with Roger Federer. It's always a pleasure. Assess the first week, if you don't mind, your play.
It's been, well, a good first week, really. I had a great first two matches, and then obviously the big scare in the third match. Happy, of course, to get 2 days off and get ready for Monday. But I thought overall, I played actually very well in that five-set I was in, and got to give credit to Beneteau, who really made me work extremely hard. But overall, of course, I'm happy I'm still alive in the tournament and giving myself a chance.
So you thought you played really well in that third-round match against Beneteau? I mean, that's... Well, let's talk about really how you felt there.
What was good about it was I think my attitude and my belief, and then the fitness was there, and I stayed calm because I've been there before. Being down 2 sets to love, it's not something I was in for the first time. So I think I know how to handle that situation. Of course, I was a bit uncertain about how I was going to exactly play, particularly in that second set once I got the break back, and I think that really is what cost me the match. Almost.
You had the early break, lost your serve right away.
That's right, and then I ended up losing the breaker in the second set.
3 set points, I believe it's 6-5.
Right, and that was tough on a mental level, really, to still concede that set in the second set. But then after that, really, I thought, he didn't have a break point after that. I could have probably played a bit better on the return at times, but I think he really does a good job mixing it up, and he's been tough for me in the past as well.
I think it's 3 or 4 points where you were 2 points from defeat. Tell me a little bit about how you were feeling right about then.
Well, there was a difficult situation early on in the fourth set. Coming back, I'm now got momentum on my side, and I think I was about 2-all love 40. Had a chance in second serve. He ends up coming through in that game. And I kind of felt this is probably going to be a nail-biter finish to this fourth set. And, of course, I had this great game where I'm serving, I think, only first serves, but he still got to about 3 times, to deuce. And every time I do come up with a good serve, things just worked out for me. And then in the breaker, of course, he went to 5-all, 6-all, 7-all, and he was extremely close there as well. So I just pushed hard, and honestly, I sort of believed that I was going to win that fourth set, whereas in the second set, I kind of felt I was probably not going to win it, just because I didn't feel quite that well. And obviously, it was key of the match at the end.
You started to show some emotion right at the end of that fourth set, and you said you've kept your cool, obviously, when you were 2 sets to love down. I mean, do you almost feel like there's that fine line between almost keeping too cool? Because as a devil's advocate, it almost, I mean, for me, looking at you, we're polar opposites, obviously, because I heard you say, keep my cool. I thought you started supposed to freak out after you were down 2 sets. But that, it's almost as if you weren't intense enough. I mean, is that, do you understand that argument?
No, I do. I do understand, and it's always been a fine line for me my whole career. Because back in the day when I would lose, people think he's not trying hard enough. When I was winning, everything was like this masterpiece. So I'm walking this fine line, and I'm aware that as long as I have the fire inside of myself and I know what I'm doing, whereas in the beginning, in the first couple of sets, it was pretty much cloudy in my head. I wasn't quite sure what to do, and then later on, everything got clear. So I did understand the importance of the end of the fourth set, and this is where I got fired up, because I knew the finish line for me is now extremely close, but it's very close for him too. So it's just a matter of me coming through the fourth set, because I always felt I was going to win the fifth set.
How much, if any, I mean, you had to watch some of that Nadal match. I mean, that was unbelievable, obviously. How much did that affect you at all the next day? Sort of as he started, it looked like I mean, I know he had beaten you once out of 3 times, and he's a very competent, he's a seeded player, but still a big upset. How much do you make him more of a believer, and you worry a little bit more?
I think for sure it had some effect on the entire draw, on every single player. And I do actually hope in the future that guys ranked outside of let's say, the top 30 do believe more in beating the top guys. It was just incredible performance by Rosol coming through in that 5th set against Nadal. It was just, it was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it, how he came through. You probably felt the same way. And that's why I knew the danger of playing Beneteau, and also for myself, knowing that Nadal's not in the draw anymore. Obviously, that's always going to send shockwaves through the draw for top guys. And I'm happy I made it, and now maybe the next match around will be a bit easier mentally. Who knows?
How good did it feel to break Benetton down? I mean, he started, I think he was cramping in the early in the fifth set. I mean, you must have sort of felt like, I put it to this guy.
Right, and I know he's not coming from from a perfect place. He did have a bad fall in Monaco. I think twisted his ankle while he's falling down. He broke his wrist or his elbow.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but
no,
it's good that he got back fast.
Well, he was not supposed to play Paris. He ends up playing there, and he actually played pretty well. And so I don't think he's physically as fit as he would like to be, but still put up, I think, a great effort. But for me, obviously, it is a great feeling coming through, physically as well, because I can't always show that quality of myself, and that obviously makes you feel good as well.
We've been talking about this for 35 years, but I got to get this in. The 2 weeks, there's only 2 weeks between the French and Wimbledon.
Right.
We're hearing there's talk, add an extra week. Do you think that had an effect on Nadal losing? The fact that he had that Monday final with French, you've had to do it 5 times, nothing? What are your feelings on that?
I don't think it had anything to do with Rafa's performance, to be quite honest, because how many times has he gone from a finals in Paris to win here or play well here? He's been in, I think, in 6 finals here at Wimbledon already, and he's already won 7 French Opens. So you go figure that I think the clay court season helps him much more than we actually think it might not benefit him on the grass. I think he comes in so confident on the grass and actually plays a whole lot better. But of course, it'd be amazing to have another week on grass. 2 extra weeks would be great, but one's already would be fantastic. So, because right now, like you said, we only have 2 weeks, but like having 3 weeks would really give us a proper preparation for Wimbledon, which I think this tournament clearly deserves over the years.
And finally, if anything, what do you do? I mean, it's my job to look ahead a little bit. If by some chance that guy by the name of Djokovic is in the semis, what, if anything, do you feel like you need to do differently? I mean, I know you've got a bit of credentials here at Wimbledon. You've got 6, he's got 1. You're trying to catch Pete. Do you think you go out, you play your A game, that's good enough? Don't need to change anything?
Well, things have changed, obviously, over the years. I think, back in the day, I think people were serving more at around 50, 55, 60% first serves. Now everybody's serving around 60 to 70% first serve. So that changes by itself. Guys are getting bigger. I don't know if they're getting stronger, more athletic, but it seems like it. So obviously, I also have to adjust my game accordingly over the last, 14 years that I've been on tour. But I do believe that if I do play well, like I did in Paris at times against him, offensively, and I will be able to maintain that much easier here on grass, that it will be a very dangerous match for
So you have 3 or 4 different plans.
Right. I think also it depends on that. If I do make it to the semis, of course, how do I feel? I think I will feel much, much better at Wimbledon. I did this last French Open where I never really quite got comfortable on the clay for some reason this year. So I hope I can make it work this time around, and definitely it's got to take a great performance. Anything else probably is not going to do the job.
Roger, great talking to you as always. Good luck the second week.
Thanks,
all right?
Don. Yeah.
All right.